So you join me on the road and I'm heading towards Lewis. I've spent a whole 10 days on Harris and I'm fairly happy and confident that the shots that I've got of the 3 locations have provided me with some nice imagery. So I wanted to go to somewhere new, and one of the places that I had in mind was a place called Mangersta. Mangersta is an area of beautiful rocky coastline and it's famous for its wonderful sea stacks. It's a photographer's dream come true. Now my plan is to shoot the sea stacks in the evening light, so let's join me on the location and see how we got on. So after roughly a 2-hour drive from Luskentyre, we've just arrived at Mangersta Sea Stacks, and it's a bit difficult trying to find them from the road. It's not that obvious whereabouts they are, you can't really see them from the road too well. So I bobbed out just to have a quick look where I thought was the right location, and sure enough it is right. And if you look when you get here, if you do come, there's a little cairn on the end of a promontory that sort of shows you where roughly you need to be to look upon the sea stacks. But I got out the car, came down, and I kid you not, I've seen these in magazines and online, social media, various places, and nothing quite prepares you for the reality of seeing the real thing. They are enormous, and the sheer power and majesty of the sea really hits you when you see the swell around them, especially on a day like today when there's been a bit of wind, and certainly over the last few days when the sea hasn't yet calmed down. So I've got my kit, I've been back to the car, got my kit, and I'm rushing down. I'm hoping to shoot these at sunset, that's the idea, but honestly they're so beautiful that I can't not do them now. And we're about 2.5 hours off sunset, but I normally wouldn't shoot in this light. It's still a little bit too cool, but that sea down there is beautifully blue. It's reflecting the blue sky above. It looks fantastic, and I just want to at least capture something of the drama, and then at least I can sit back afterwards and wait for the sunset time and pray that I do get some light. But you've just got to get something in the bag. These are so amazing. You wait. So I really hope you can hear me in the wind. It's quite dramatic and the view is in front of me, and I really did think in somewhere like this I'd be stood shoulder to shoulder with other photographers, and the road is only 300 or 400 yards in that direction, and I'm completely alone here. Whether that's the case later on, who knows, but are you ready for this? Isn't that just something else? I really hope that even though a stills image can't do it justice, I really hope that this little film here does this place the justice it deserves. I don't know if you can see, but in the sky above to the right especially, and also to the left to some extent, there's snowstorms dropping, just adding to the atmosphere of the place. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get a shot. So it's really windy. I'm not even sure how safe it is, on whether there's any severe gusts that come up. I'm sure there are. It's quite calm at the moment, but there's 1 or 2 moments a few minutes ago when it was really quite gusty. So I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to take 2 shots. I'm going to take one standard shot, no filters. The light is very, very directional at the moment. It's completely behind me, so it's pretty flat lighting as far as that goes, but it's a beautiful scene nonetheless. So manual exposure, I'm on f16, no need for huge amounts of depth of field. This is probably equivalent to about f11 on a 35mm system. The lens I've got on is a 45 to 80, and I'm currently on the 45 end.
It's a really easy shot, nothing more to it than that, and I'm just going to go for it. 2-second time and mirror lock up, 200th of a second, nothing to it really. Very, very simple, straightforward composition. There's not a lot you can do for the composition because you are restricted to stand where you have to stand, and which is as near as the cliff edge as you dare. I know that beyond where I'm stood it's not sheer, it's actually just a bit of a slope. It's quite a severe slope, but nonetheless it's not a sheer cliff edge. There's a bit of rain moving in now, you can see that behind me, a big snowstorm moving in. I'm going to try my best to put the Lee 6-stop neutral density filter on, just to try and do one with slower water, if I can get it done before that comes. So I put the 6-stop filter, it's mad, I put the 6-stop filter on and it was only giving me about 1/4 of a second exposure, so I had to break out the 10-stop filter. It's not my favourite filter at all, I'm not really keen on using it. The light has gone, damn it, it's gone behind a cloud. So I'm going to put the shower cap over the front of the camera and just give it a couple minutes, let that sun come out, and hopefully get something exciting. Just my luck, I just want to get out of here. Shower cap in place, really useful for times like this when you just get a quick shower and you don't want to pack up, just gives you that bit of time. You see the camera being blown around, it's so windy. I just want to try and show you just that bit of rock. Where are we? That way, there. The big buttress of rock in the distance. Every so often the waves go right up it and it's so dramatic to see. Absolutely awesome. The power of the sea is unimaginable. You won't want to get stuck in here in a little boat in the middle of winter, that's for sure. Just gotta wait for that sun. Grey lag geese flying over. Oh, they're brave. Flying directly into the wind. What a place. What a place. Amazing storms out at sea. See if you can see that. Just over beyond that headland. Absolutely throwing it down out there. Right, I'm going to put this down, wind's coming again. Okay, so we're back on track. Shower cap off, 10-stop filter on. It just wasn't enough, the 6-stop filter wasn't strong enough. I was only getting 1/4 of a second, so I've put the 10-stop on now, I'm getting 10-second exposure. The filter, oh, it's filthy. I mean, there's so much spray in the air, you can't really feel it, but I just looked at the filter then when I took it off, just to give me a few more minutes just to check the exposure and the focal length and the focus again. Looked at the filter, it was absolutely covered in this like fine layer of mist, so I've done my best to clean it off. Hopefully I'm there or thereabouts. So here's the shot, 10 seconds, f/16. I'm gonna have to brace the tripod. There is a slight lull in the wind just this very moment, but I don't risk it. I don't take my hand off, because if it blows it'll take the tripod with it. There we go, perfect. I'm going to put those 2 shots on now. Whether I get back, I don't know. What I'm noticing is that as the sun's dropping for this time of year, we're getting a big shadow at the bottom of the first sea stack, whether you can see that. And it's taking a lot of light off the foreground, which I'm not completely happy about. I'd like all the sea to be completely lit. So I'm going to leave it there, put those 2 shots on, and I'll see you shortly.
So this image goes against everything that I believe in landscape photography, and that is to go out and shoot the composition that you have in your mind, regardless of what the lighting conditions you are presenting with on that day. I always say that we should shoot to the conditions, and this is what I've not done on this occasion, and the simple reason for that was when I turned up it was very, very dramatic, and I just wanted to get something in the bag to be going on with a view to going back later on in the evening when the light was much nicer. So just reviewing this image, it's certainly a really nice composition. From that point of view, it cannot fail. The image actually has drama, but at the same time, because of the lighting and the time of day, it lacks the atmosphere to go with it. So the drama comes in the form of all the foam on the sea, and it's clearly a very, very dramatic scene, very, very rough to look at, and very wild and rugged. But because of the quality of the light, it just looks as though it's been taken on a nice sunny day, and for that reason it lacks the atmosphere. What I actually should have done was leave the whole thing alone, just go and enjoy it for what it was, enjoy the scene and come away. I had, however, every intention of shooting this in the late evening light, and that was the whole point of the visit. But as you will see in a minute, it just didn't happen, it didn't pan out that way. So image 2. Image 2, obviously it's exactly the same composition, so it's great in that respect, and again it's been taken at the wrong time of day. But to combat the feeling of mood and atmosphere that I wanted to achieve with the image, I put the 10-stop Lee filter on. Now that was a bad decision. I knew it was a bad decision. The Lee 10-stop filter is notorious for giving you this really strong blue cast. It's the only 10 filter that I own, and I don't generally use it for this very reason. You can attempt to fix this in Lightroom and Photoshop by warming the image up, but in all honesty, I'm never going to get rid of that overriding issue, the fact that the image was taken in the middle of the afternoon and the light was already quite cool by comparison to what it would be later on in the evening when I really wanted to take the shot. The other problem with this particular scene is on the top left hand side of the image you can see the distant cliff. There's a lack of contrast because of the sea spray which is in the air within the distance between myself and those rocks. Yes, it's a natural phenomenon, but in my view it doesn't really assist the image in terms of its clarity. So the second image, whilst I've corrected the problem with the lack of drama, the lack of atmosphere, I've created a whole host of other problems by putting the Lee filter on. So yeah, not very happy with these two images at all. I'll hand you back over to the film and we'll finish off there.
Well, that just to add a bit of fun into the mix, it's now hailstoning. So I just come away from the edge, I've finished the shoot, and I think I'm going to call it a day. I just want to show you quickly, looking out there, you can see there's no light on the horizon. There's not going to be any sunshine anytime soon, so I'm going to call it a day. What a place, what a wild and rugged place this is. Yeah, in terms of composition on that location, you couldn't really do anything but shoot what you got. You can't really walk around, you've just got the cliff top edge and that's it. But what a lovely cracking location, well worth coming to. But yeah, it's finished as far as I'm concerned. If you can see in the distance there, lots and lots of this stuff coming down and lots more to come. So I'm going to get myself out of here and get back. I've got a 2-hour drive back, so I'm pretty much done, I think. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the film, it's been a brief one, I know, but well worth coming, well worth seeing. And even if you don't get it yourself, you can appreciate the film and hopefully the photographs as well that you've just seen. So as always, subscribe to the channel. I put a lot of effort into these videos, as you can see. I go to the length and breadth of the country to bring you these locations, these photographic spots. Let me know in your comments below what you think of the film. Like and share, even dislikes, it's all good, I don't mind. So until next time, from a very windy western Isle of Lewis and Harris, bye for now.